Welcome to the Central Valley. Here's where the bulk of the high-speed rail magic is happening. Here we'll see trenches, viaducts, pergolas,
This is awful. Nobody lives here. What a complete waste of taxpayer money. The authorities should have just used the I-5 corridor.
I'm sorry, who are you?
My name is Bob. I'm an NPC.
Oh my god, he's an NPC. Okay, Bob, do you know how many people actually live in the Central Valley?
I don't know. Like
3,000?
I don't know, maybe.
Have you ever tried looking it up?
I don't know.
Oh, he broke.
Good. That guy was annoying.
Please exit through the rear door.
Doors open.
Welcome to Bakersfield. Bakersfield is one of the largest cities in the Central Valley with a population of over 400,000. Bakersfield is actually the 48th largest city by population in the US. For the record, Tampa, Florida, a city that Brightline, Florida is actually planning to expand to, is the 49th. Now to be clear, this is city population and not metro area population. I'm not sure why people talk about metro population when talking about high-speed rail, as the city that the high-speed rail station is placed in is typically the most impacted in terms of service. It's not some crazy hot take that cities with high-speed rail would be impacted more than the suburbs surrounding them. After all, the attribute that makes high-speed rail attractive, specifically against air travel, is its proximity to city centers. High-speed rail stations are not like airports. People are more willing to travel further out to airports than high-speed rail stations because the plane will make up for lost time in the sky. This is the reason why metro areas typically have more than one high-speed rail station. For example, between Brightline and California high-speed rail, the Los Angeles metro area has more than 10 stations. So yeah, this is why I don't consider metro area population when talking about high-speed rail. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, Bakersfield is the 48th largest city by population in the US. This means that Bakersfield is larger than Honolulu, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. Bakersfield is also the 9th largest city by population in California, between Oakland and Anaheim. So I find it quite astounding that people can say that the cities in the Central Valley are the middle of nowhere. It's even worse when you see news stations in California say that. Google is headquartered in California. You think people would use it? And don't even get me started with the comments on YouTube. It's like, buddy, you could have just spent the time you spent typing on YouTube to look it up on Google and it would have been the first answer. I understand that people struggle with basic physics and politics in places that they don't live in, but there's no way you couldn't have typed in 3 words into the Google search box. The high-speed rail to nowhere statement is hands down the worst anti-California high-speed rail propaganda out there. Let this sink in. Providence, Rhode Island has half the population at 190,000, yet they still have a high-speed rail station. I swear the West Coast and the East Coast are like 2 separate countries. The car centrism on the West Coast has gotten so bad that some people can't fathom having a high-speed rail station in a city under 1 million population. But hey, if there weren't people spreading misinformation, then I would have never created the Truth About series, would I? So there's a positive outcome in there somewhere. So anyways, I left you off at the Amtrak station last episode to give some hype for this episode, but this isn't where the high-speed rail station is going to be. It's actually over here, just north of downtown Bakersfield. As you can see, the station consists of 2 side platforms with 2 bypassing tracks going through the center. The station will also be completely elevated. Just like most things the authority doesn't have funding for, the design keeps changing. Here's the most recent rendering of the station. Yeah, that land use is something else. But the authority is planning on changing that by marking literally everything commercial. It's just a sea of maroon. But in the end, it could have been worse. The worst case scenario, this high-speed rail station could have been placed in a field somewhere. But again, that's the worst case scenario.
And I think we do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description. Okay, this is the guy they wanted people in Pennsylvania to be out on the lookout for. He's got a nose and some hair that goes like that, and he was wearing a hat at the time of this particular crime. He's got kind of a chin that comes down to almost a point. There it is. Get a good look for yourself.
This one can only be explained through a skit. Roborel, go into story mode.
Okay. So we've studied
all the alternatives, and we would like to put a high-speed rail station in downtown Hanford and have a branch line to Visalia.
Wow, can't believe this is happening.
I know, right?
Well, Tulare, Visalia, Hanford, altogether you guys have a population of over 270,000. We think that a high-speed rail station could really help boost your economies.
Oh yeah, especially in Hanford.
Dude, this is amazing.
No.
What?
No. I don't want a high-speed rail station.
Come again.
No.
No, there is no no. You don't understand. You can't just say no. That's not how this works. Can I ask why you don't want it built?
It'll ruin our historic downtown and there will be too many tourists.
Well, that's sort of the point. To bring more tourists.
I won't allow you to build a station within our city limits.
Fine. Then we'll just have to build it in the farm fields.
No. Actually, you can't build a station in our county at all. You are hereby barred from entering Kings County effective whenever I want. And I'm not going to fund the study for the Cross Valley branch line.
What? Why?
Because less people will ride the San Joaquin trains and we'll lose tourists.
What?
Dude, just ignore him. This is why we call him Karen County.
Yeah, we'll help fund the rest of the study.
Hey, watch it, buddy. Don't you ever sideline my jurisdiction like that again. You can't force me to improve my economy. Who do you think you are? You don't have the right. Go back to your own county. Sorry, I got a little carried away at the end.
Yeah, so there goes your reasoning behind that decision. This is also the reason why the rail line wiggles the way it does around Hanford. Anyways, a couple cool things to note about this rendering. The station has a similar layout to the one in Bakersfield. Elevated, 2 side platforms, 2 bypassing tracks down the center. This is going to be the typical layout for stations in the Central Valley. The station has around 1,600 parking spots, and I actually like the platform canopies rather than the full canopies we saw in Bakersfield. On the top right, you can see the Cross Valley corridor. It runs along existing right-of-way and is projected to open sometime in the 2030s. Unlike the Amtrak train shown here, the service will most likely be operated by a light DMU. The total cost of the Cross Valley corridor is projected at $489 million, which is comparatively lower than most US rail projects. So why wait till the 2030s? I don't know. The Cross Valley corridor is going to be really useful regardless if the high-speed rail is in place or not. It's not like there isn't any other rail connection. The San Joaquin service still exists. The last thing I want to mention is, why are there people just hovering in the sky? Anyways, the next stop is Fresno, population 544,000. That's around 20,000 people more than Sacramento. You know, one of the cities that Phase 2 is supposed to extend to, but
the Central Valley is the middle of nowhere.
Anyways, the orange highlighted section shows what the authority is currently building. You might notice it doesn't extend all the way to Merced or Bakersfield. Yeah, this is because the authority literally doesn't have enough money to finish. This also means that the authority will most likely finish the middle section a couple years before the ends. In that case, I suggest that the authority should lay tracks, test the rolling stock and the infrastructure on the completed segment while simultaneously building out the rest of the Central Valley segment. This would knock out so many birds with one stone. This means that any infrastructure or rolling stock issues can be addressed well before the actual line opens. This will also bring a great deal of needed publicity for this high-speed rail project and other high-speed rail projects alike, which means the possibility of more funding. I don't know, just a thought. Anyways, we'll pick up in Fresno next episode. As always, if I earned your like and subscription, I love you, and if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching.
Doors open.